I'm going to go through a few things that are symptoms of horses being unhealthy. So you can identify them, be observant, identify them and report them to your boss. If you've been around a horse for a while, especially if it's your horse, you start to know what he should be like most days. So if he's all lethargic and he looks sick, then let someone know, because there might be something wrong with him. Especially if you're going to go on a muster, if he seems all sick and crook, the last thing you want to do is go on a huge big ride on him. And lethargy is mainly just being really tired and just seeming sick, like if you're really crook one day. If a horse doesn't get to drink enough water, then they can get dehydrated, just like us. And the way you can tell if a horse is dehydrated, there's two things. One is the colour of their gums. Her gums are, like nice and pink, which is what they should look like. The other thing you can tell if they're dehydrated is their skin. And it's called a skin fold test. And you pinch like that and pull out on it. Now see, that's gone very quickly. I'll do it again. I'll pull it out like that and let it go. It's gone very quickly, which means she's got nice fluid in there. But if you do that and it stays up like that for a long time, it means they're dehydrated. The wet season can be pretty hard on a horse's eyes, mainly because of the flies. The flies come in and they eat around their eyes and they can create sores and they can get like a discharge, like a boogie. So you've got to keep that nice and clean. And also check for colour, because if they're blue, if they've got like a blue tinge, then something can be wrong there. Or if they get like an ulcer, they can get a grass seed in there and that can cause a very sore eye. So always just check that they're not swollen or one's not more shut than the other, and just check that they're okay in the eyes. Now before, during or after you work a horse, you've got to be aware of lameness, and lameness is like sore, they're getting along like this one. So look for cuts, swelling and soreness like that. So if they're sore and you're about to go mustering, you're going to need another horse. So I always want to know what my horse's legs should look like and to see whether there's a swelling. Usually it'll be in like the knee or down here, or sometimes it's all the way. It's going to be very sore because they're swelled up and painful. So always when you catch your horse, just look down and check that there's no swelling or any cuts, because it's not fair to take him mustering or riding if he's got a sore leg. Two of the main areas a horse needs to be very healthy in is in his back and his legs. Now if up the front, if you'll see, it might be on the side, there might be a rub here, or it might be right on top of the wither. You see hair missing in a red raw patch. That's bad news. You've really got to look after him and stop riding him. Got to look after it. Or they could calve it back here. And it's either from a saddle that doesn't fit very well, or a saddle pad that got all scrunched up and folded and end up rubbing on the back like that, or riding really bad and bouncing on the back and hurting his back like that. So it's important to have good clean gear and get better as a rider so that doesn't happen. Another thing a horse can get is a girth gall. And your girth runs around here and they can rub there, usually when they're unfit after wet season or when they're young and have soft skin. And they can get a real red raw rub in here. You've got to keep an eye out for it. So when you wash your horse and put it away, just always check there that they haven't rubbed, so you know for next time you don't go and catch your horse and not realise that he's got a rub there. So you've really got to look after it and put some cream on him. So as well as getting a rub somewhere, they can also get sore in the muscle. So I hold my hand about that far apart, and the backbone runs down the middle, and I go either side of the backbone and I run him down like that. She's not moving. If she was to dip and like that, she might have a sore back. And if she has a sore back, then she's going to need some time off to let that soreness go away. A little bit like getting the girth galls where they rub up under the girth, they can get a mouth gall rubbing in here. It's sensitive skin in here. If you ride with bad hands and pull on his head too much, then you're going to rub him and make him sore in there. And it's just like the girth gall, it needs to heal and he can't be ridden for a little while. Colic is something that happens occasionally, and what colic is there's lots of different things that can cause colic, but it's basically a sore stomach. When a horse it's like a really bad stomach ache, and horses don't have the ability to vomit like a person or things like that, so they can get into a lot of distress and discomfort, and it can kill horses. So usually the signs that you see with colic are especially rolling a lot. When they go and roll and they get up, and they roll again and they get up and they roll again, or if they're just looking sick and they're kind of looking at their stomach or biting at their stomach, or kicking at their stomach with their back feet. Obviously check it's just not for flies, but colic is something that's quite dangerous and it can really, really kill a horse if you're not careful. So if you think you see the symptoms of something like that, then let your supervisor know straight away.